Well, thanks again so much to the wonderful folks here at Olde World Bakery, Daniel and Sadie. This is such a sweet spot. If you're in Prescott and you haven't been here and you're watching this live video, this is definitely a place you should come visit. And thanks to new friends, old friends coming to visit and listen and sing. I'm going to sing a tune that is dedicated to my sweetie over here. And so I mentioned, like, I'm kind of a nomad, wandering soul, and he was here in Prescott for a long time, and then I moved out here, and we got married, and he thought, oh, let's, what if we moved to Brussels, and I became an unfunded doctoral student? He's like, come on out to Prescott, I've got a great job, you can leave yours, it'll be like, life will be a dream. But, I mean, he actually blames me because I have a pretty short track record in most places that I've lived. I'm what they call a short timer. Not just because I'm short, but 2 months. Meet, but I know, sorry. Like, literally don't get out much, right? Pandemic. But so this is a song that we love, but we switched the word Memphis with Brussels. To Memphis or Brussels or wherever you might wind up if you've followed a sweetie or they followed you. If you love somebody enough, you follow wherever they go. That's how I got to Memphis or Brussels. That's how I got to Memphis. Prescott, if true, right? It all works. If you love somebody enough, you'll go where your heart wants to go. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I know if you'd seen her, you'd tell her, 'cause you are my friend. I've got to find her to find out the trouble she's in. I mean, when you marry a librarian, you never know. If you tell me that she's not here, I'll follow the trail of her tears. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. She would get mad and she'd say she'd go back to Memphis someday. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I haven't eaten a bite. I haven't slept for 3 days and nights. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. I've got to find her and tell her that I love her so. I practiced a lot. I'll never rest till I find out why she had to go. I guess I'm human. Thank you for your precious time. Forgive me if I start to cry. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to Memphis. That's how I got to or Brussels, or wherever we're headed next. Maastricht. We'll see. It's just you never know that wild universe. I mean, yeah. Okay, so I was talking about the fact that I made it to 40, and I'm really excited about that. But I still feel like, I mean. Gosh, it's like a moment, I think, also, right, the last couple of years, to be really thankful to be alive. And I have this song that I love that I think about, because I think about what I want to be when I grow up. And this is a tune that my sweetie also introduced me to. It's called When I Grow Up, and it's by Michelle Schacht. And that's kind of fun, so if you're still wondering what you're going to be, you might get some ideas. how many lives in one do we have? You know, cats got nothing on us. When I grow up, I want to be an old woman. When I grow up, I want to be an old woman. An old, 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 old woman. Then I think I'm gonna find myself an old man who's a librarian. Then I think I'm gonna marry myself an old man. An old, 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 a really old man. We're gonna have 120 babies. You know, I think big, kitties, yeah. 105, 10, 15, 20 babies. That's right, I said 120 babies. We'll raise them on tiger's milk and green bananas, mangoes and coconuts and watermelon. We're gonna give them that watermelon when they start yelling. Here's what they yell: when I grow up, I wanna be an old woman. Oh, when I grow up, I wanna be an old. In the summer we'll sit by a field and watch the sun melt. In the winter we'll sit by a fire and watch the moon freeze. Me, my old man, and 120 babies. Me, my old man, and 120 babies. Oh, when I grow up, I wanna be an old woman. When I grow up, I wanna be an old. Reach for the stars, you know? I grew up being told I could do or be anything I wanted. I just want to be old with a lot of babies. I already played the biological clock song, right? So, no, I mean, when that was really strong, I had 24 chickens, 4 cats, and 2 dogs. So, but we're maxed out at 4 right now. I'm not allowed to get any more.
You mean cats or dogs?
Right now, we've got 3 cats and 1 very Velcro husky. So,
He stuck you.
yeah.
And sheds.
Yeah. Right now, we're literally pulling out clumps of fur. In fact, when I flew back to the U.S. from France back in June, and then drove with the 3 cats and dog from Seattle to Prescott, I kept myself awake in Nevada. I rolled down the window and just pulled like hunks of fur from the dog and just set them free through the window. There's not a lot going on in Nevada. It's beautiful, but it's like, you know, you find yourself sort of nodding off.
So where was that national park that you were in Washington State?
In Washington State, I started off at North Cascades. So it's right on the border with British Columbia and Manning Provincial Park. Wilderness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would be the nearest town to that?
Nearest, well, like the nearest actual incorporated town. I lived up in Rockport, but then we would drive about an hour down valley or down river. And if you drive north from Seattle on the I-5 corridor and you get up to Mount Vernon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, LeConner, Cedar Woolley, and then you keep going, you hit Bellingham, and then boop, you're in Canada if there's not a pandemic and the border's closed. But yeah, and I met my sibling lives up in Canada and has friends who have been meeting their family at this spot a lot where like 2 roads on either side of the border meet, and they set up and you can like hang out, just, you know, Canada, U.S. And so I met them because the border was still closed in June, and we each had like picnic chairs, like lawn chairs, and a picnic, and we drove by people with a big tent that had set up a grill, and it's like a thing, you know.
And then you just passed the food over.
Yeah, until the Border Patrol guy came by and was like, don't pass anything across the border. And we were like, okay. Oh, yeah. So I think, like, you know, when we have these, like, times that are challenging, it just encourages us to be more creative. For sure. So I'm going to sing a song. So I think I mentioned one of my lives was in Belgium. And I used to volunteer with my friend Sarah, who's from Scotland, and she's a brilliant poet. And we would meet on Monday afternoons at a refugee center where people came to apply for asylum to, you know, hopefully be able to live in Belgium. And we would put up a big piece of paper, and they would come and write words and phrases, and we work collaboratively with them to write a song. And actually so you have the words to this song I'm going to play, because it's on my ukulele case. There. There's no excuse not to sing, so you're like on Facebook, memorize that.
Sideways.
I could be you, you could be me. We can change the dark to light if we want to be free. We are bound together if only we could see. I could be you, you could be me. You could be sitting up here with really big frizzy hair. And we wrote this song with, when we first started volunteering at the refugee center, it was a residential center, so people would come and apply for asylum, and they lived there while they went through and did interviews and tried to prove that they were worthy of living in a safe place. No comment, you know, on that. We've got different feelings about that, but we befriended some people who had been living there for several years waiting, and one of our friends from Gaza, we worked on this song together. This is another one that's in English. A lot of the songs have several different languages, and so I'll play some of those for you also. But we just were thinking about the fact that at any moment, right, our lives can change dramatically, which, you know, if nothing has been learned over the last 2 years, you know, at any moment we might need to get a lot of toilet paper, you know, or we might need to, like, you know, learn how to use Zoom and make sure our video is not sideways. But also that, you know, our circumstances in life can be so dramatically different if we're born into a different family, in another time, another place, you know, and so we wanted to write something kind of about that. And what was so amazing to me is that a lot of these songs are very light and hopeful, and you know, this idea that, like, everyone deserves to live in peace and we're all the same, and, you know, and this one has a bit of humor and a phrase that you can sing with. And it's really easy. It's just, I could be you, you could be me. You could probably do that even. I could be you, you could be me. There we go. I could be you, you could be me. Just stay on F marieke. We can change the dark to light if we want to be free. We are bound together if only we could see. Here we go. I could be you, you could be me. We don't choose our species, if we're a peacock or a pigeon. I just really like pigeons. We don't choose our family, our country or religion. I could be the king of Belgium, he could be a refugee. I could be you, you could be me. That was pretty good. I didn't really, like, warn you, so. What if we couldn't see the color of our skin? All we could see was the person's soul within. Buddhist, Christian, Jewish, Shiite or Sunni. Are you ready? I could be you, you could be me. We're ready to take it on the road, I think. We don't have to follow a story born of fear. We all come from somewhere else, but we're together here. Our fate is not yet written, it's who we choose to be. Everybody, I could be you, you could be me. And then we're gonna sing the phrases on my ukulele case. You ready? If you want, you know, no pressure. I could be you, get your your binoculars if you mean. We can change the dark to light if we want to be free. We are bound together. We are bound together. If only we could see. If only we could see. I could be you. You could be me. Sing it again. I could be you. You could be me. One more time. I could be you. You could be me. Round of applause. Brilliant. I love that. Thanks for singing. All right. And some new faces came in. Thanks for joining us and listening. Welcome. There's really no pressure to sing. So if you were like, I'm not singing, I'm out of here, don't worry. Just, you don't have to leave, you don't have to sing. You can when I do songwriting workshops and I'm like, and then we're gonna sing, you can just see some people are like, I did not sign on for this. All right, so when I first moved back to the US this last summer, we had been living in France because we were in Belgium, and then this weird pandemic hit, and we were like, oh, I guess our plane tickets and reservations for our animals have to be canceled because all of the airlines canceled travel across the ocean with animals. So we were like, oh, universe, what do you have in store? So we hopped over to France, because luckily my husband got this one-year postdoc, and got to practice lots of French and meet amazing people. We didn't get to go to restaurants because the restaurants closed, but the bakeries were open, thank goodness. So, no.
Did you make lots of friends with great cooks?
Well, we did, and the funny thing is that the people that we befriended were because I started taking a Dutch class in France. In French, yeah. So it was like a triple, what's happening in my brain? I just laughed by the end of the class because I was no idea what's going on. But this lovely woman in my class introduced us to all of her friends, and so we'd go for these long walks in the farm fields, and you could see the bunkers from World War I. It was a totally different experience. It was northern France, but on the east side. Yeah, Flanders. So used to be Flemish. Yeah, exactly. Right, we could literally walk to Belgium from our house and back, and even though the borders were closed, we felt like real rebels, But so I thought, when I first moved back, and I would see people with my dog, I'd be like, stop, not French, English, And so I wanted to sing a song that had some French into it. That's, that whole long story. It's just to tell you about this song called Soyons Unis, which means we can be united. And we wrote this song with a refugee from Congo who, talked about some of these similar themes that I think come up wherever you're living about, the fact that we're born on this earth. At some point we're going to leave the earth. And what else does he say? Ici nous arrivons, here we arrive. Ici nous partirons, from here we leave. We must carry on. So we should just appreciate the moment. Treasure the moment, even if it's small. Smile for everyone, it's the same earth for us all. Life is fleeting, we are all on the same boat. From this earth we arrive, and from this land we go. Soyons unis, ce n'est que la vie, it's only life. We nous sommes ensemble, together, you and me. Ici nous arrivons, ici nous partirons. Nous sommes ensemble, we must carry on. is our life. This is our earth. This is our death. And this is our birth. You can't take it with you. You cannot stop the time. So let's join together on this sometimes bumpy ride. Soyons unis, ce n'est que la vie. Nous sommes ensemble, together you and me. Ici nous arrivons, ici nous partirons. Nous sommes ensemble, we must carry on. Together we laugh, together we cry, together we live, together we die, together we warm, together we freeze, together we're trapped, together we're free, together we laugh, together we cry, together we live, together we die, together we warm, together we freeze, together we're trapped, together we're free. Soyons unis, ce n'est que la vie. Nous sommes ensemble, together you and me. Ici nous arrivons, ici nous partirons. Nous sommes ensemble, we must carry on. We must carry on.
Go ahead and play the cream.
Well, so I have a very magical song to sing for you. I just have to find it. So I'm going to tell you about it while I'm looking for it. It is a song that I wrote with a dear friend who's the reason I'm singing here today, and is one of my favorite people in the whole world. And she and I and her husband worked on a song to capture his life story. And he had this amazing life as a pilot where he flew all over the world. And there's a part that, one of my favorite parts, where he flew with whooping cranes, like in this little plane. And then the people who knew him, so I only got to meet him towards the end of his life, which was a real gift, but it was really beautiful just hearing all about his life and the fact that he was just born to fly. It was like the way he moved was just, he was meant to be a pilot. Like, he just had this kind of grace. And I know I always think about, because I've had so many lives, and like how many different things have I done in my life, still kind of looking for, what I'm meant to do in my path. And some people know, I think, early on what they're meant to be, and some people are still searching, and I think that's beautiful also. And
Maybe you're not meant to be one thing.
maybe you're not, exactly, maybe you're not meant to be one thing.
Another song.
There's a song there.
I think there's a song there, yeah, for sure. We're gonna definitely write that song.
Next time.
Yeah. Well, I do write songs, songwriting workshops. I'm always happy to write songs with people from their stories. But this is a particularly magical one, and it's called Born to Fly. That's for Jean and Marieke. Next time we can bring you ukulele. I was 19 when I learned to fly, and I flew for 50 years. They said I had the real right stuff. I was a born fighter pilot. I learned to fly all kinds of planes, and I flew all over the world. I was having the time of my life. Everything was going on inside. They tell me I was born to fly. I moved like I had wings. a child, I played all kinds of sports, but I loved ice hockey the best. Sometimes I would fall on the ice and rise like I was flying. As a pilot, I traveled to far-off places, but if you would talk to me long, I would tell you about those birds I followed, flying with the whooping crane. They tell me I was born to fly. I moved like I had wings. Yes, I was born to fly, born to fly. As a boy, I had a dream to see the world and have adventures and explore. So I read my maps, magazines, but I didn't know where life would take me. And flying got me there. They tell me I was born to fly. I moved like I had wings. Yes, I was born to fly, born to fly. I was born to fly, born to fly. That's one of the most special songs. Oh. Whoosh.
Make us all cry, Monica.
Let's sing happy birthday again. All right, let's see. Okay, well, I'll think of, let's see. How about, one of the challenges of being in a pandemic, at least where we were, we had a lockdown in Belgium, where there were people I think like here, running to get all the toilet paper and hand sanitizer and trying to figure out what was going on. And that was like the first lockdown, right? You're like, what is this thing called Zoom and why didn't I get stuck in it? And then the second and third lockdowns for us were in France, which was, another set of challenges. And the borders were closed. So not only could I not go and write music each week like I had, hi friends, with my friend Sarah and the friends that we'd meet at the refugee center, but also, we couldn't really leave our house. So we thought, well, let's continue to write songs about movement because we're so limited in our ability to move around the country. But let's do something lighter and we'll write some songs for kids about animals that migrate. So I'm wearing a dress with a frog on it. We do have a frog song, but I thought that I would play maybe one of our favorites is the fish song. And it's like a really easy song to learn. So, if you're feeling like you want to channel that inner child, wear it on the outside for a little while. Let me make sure I'm in tune. Hi, Beth. Welcome. Thanks for coming out. Beth just got back from France. We're all friends now. So. Also, Sarah's daughter had a baby right before the pandemic, so interesting time to come onto the planet for sure. But these Creatures on the Move songs are they're like the theme song to her life, which is a really neat thing. So she's just grown up and listens to these songs all the time. And we thought about different animals and how they move around the world, and the fact that we could include the name of each animal in English, Dutch, and French, which is also fun. So the chorus for this song, this is the fish song, or vische in Dutch, poisson en français, and it's an easy one to learn. It's just vische, vische, swish, 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 poisson, poisson, fish, 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 vische, vische, swish, 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 poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. When I am young, go with the flow. I dive in the water eat and I grow, kind of in honor of the salmon. Start in the river and swim to the sea. Travel the ocean, I'm fast and I'm free. Everybody, visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. I'm dark on the top and silver below. My colors protect me wherever I go. I go many miles and have to beware of whales and seals, eagles and bears. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. At the end of my life, I return to my start. Swim back to the river. The journey is hard. The current is strong. I have to jump high. This little 2-year-old Ari's favorite part, even though she's like no idea what it means. I lay my eggs and then I die. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. After I'm gone, my babies survive. There is a cycle to the circle of life. Remember the salmon if you feel blue when you're swimming upstream. I'll swim beside you. Everybody, last time. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. Visha, visha, swish, swish, swish. Poisson, poisson, fish, fish, fish. Poisson, poisson, fish. Thank you, that was beautiful. Got time for a couple more.
So is that what vicious walk comes from or not?
Oh, I don't know. Vichy,
Vichy is,
that might be.
that's French.
Is that French? I think it is French.
French, yeah.
But I could ask Monsieur Google. I think he would tell me. Il connaît tout. He knows everything. Actually, I don't know if Google is Google Mail, if you know.
Well, I
I
took
don't know how
Siri
Google
email.
it. Oh, excellent. I know. Like, how do these different AI identify? I don't
I
know.
know, I like to be talked to by
Yeah?
the Australian.
Oh, excellent. That's like your GPS when they talk to you. If you're like,
Yeah, yeah.
my friend's GPS is British.
I can't help you right now. Typical.
Totally. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's see. Got time for. Oh, this is a fun one. I think it's fun. So this is actually the first song that we wrote when I started volunteering at the refugee center in Brussels, and we wrote it with a resident who had come from Afghanistan. And so he spoke Dari, and he wrote a phrase, Zindagi shans dawam dara, which means, at least his interpretation was, in life there are second chances. And several months later, we met another person from Afghanistan who had a really different, not really different, but subtle nuance, that life gives second chances. So I like them all, right? I mean, but it's really so interesting how, language and experience can change your interpretation. And this is also a fun one to sing together, if you feel like singing along. Because there's a repeated phrase at the end, life is here and now. And then we'll chant Zindagi shans dawam dara if you're feeling crazy. I normally would actually bring I have a little set of like handheld rhythm instruments, and I'd always bring those with me so that everybody could be a musician. But I didn't bring those today, so just next time, I had to retire the cowbell because it was just. I know Christopher Walken really always wants more, but there was too much cowbell. One person gets it. Bless their enthusiasm in life. But you have built-in instruments, so if you want to enjoy. There are second chances. You can start again. Never give up. And you can always echo, never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Here we go. Life is here and now. Carpe diem. Life is here and now. How about one more? You're up for one more? Okay. Let's see. So much pressure. One more.
Some people who disagree.
Oh, Hakuna Matata.
Olde World.
All right. So I've been told that I can't call this song Hakuna Matata. A friend of mine was like, I'm pretty sure Disney owns that. I know you could like own a language, but I'm not gonna. But so this song is called Open the Borders, and we started with a fellow from Burundi who brought a guitar with him to Belgium, which is pretty rare because if you're fleeing for your life, you're not often able to bring more than you can really carry. And so he wrote Hakuna Matata on the page, which, no worries or don't worry. Tushikane mikono, tutafika salama, nabila silam. So it was the don't worry, we can take each other's hands, and we can arrive safely without firearms, without violence. And so that's how the song started. But then, so often what happens is that people from other countries will arrive, write in other languages, and I'm sitting there like, oh my God, how do I include everyone's words so they all feel, seen and heard? So there was someone from Senegal writing in Wolof. There was a fellow from Afghanistan writing in Dari. There was someone writing in French. So it's like this is a whole mix, which I think is perfect because we're all mixed, we're all unique, we're all different. There are things about us that are the same, and there's things about us that are different. So, sing Hakuna Matata, tushikane mikono, tutafika salama, bila silaha, bila silaha. If they open the borders, where would everybody go? Like a bird, no pain, no visa, just the power of our wings and our hearts to decide. Hakuna Matata, tushikane mikono, tutafika salama, bila silaha, bila silaha. If they open the borders, where would you go? Would you choose one place or migrate? I would make a new life in Belgium. Hakuna Matata, tushikane mikono, tutafika salama, bila silaha, bila silaha. It's like one of those you can think metaphorically too. Like, what would you do if you could do anything? Be anything. And you can. I believe in you. Here it is in English. Don't worry. Place your hand in mine. We will arrive safely without violence. We will arrive. Here's some Dari. Zindagi aram dashta bashim. Relax, live for all time. Wolof, Africa, le jugi de nu. Fek finu, jugi de fune. Here comes some French, si tu sais à quel point tu me manques, combien je pense à toi. I come from Africa and I find the whole world. Nabila Sila Hakuna Matata. Thank you. Thank you so much. New friends, old friends, friends at the Olde World Bakery. Thanks so much for joining in and singing and for your beautiful voices and presence. It's totally not what I thought my Saturday was going to be like, in such a good way.
But isn't it great you were open to it?
I know, right? I was open to expanding my borders, flash my comfort zone. Yeah, thank you to Mary Kay and Daniel and Sadie. Making it possible for you to be here. So I'd love to chat if you're not like running for the door, but really happy to be here. If you want a sticker or a card, and so we can find each other again in like the virtual world with no borders.
So what's the best way?
Thank you.
What's the best way to follow you?
I think if you happen to find like a homing pigeon, and you can like put a like, I love pigeons. Well, so on my card has my email, and then I have a website, guidingsong.com. I also have like several different. Everything is guiding songs. You go on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
You'll update on your website future plans.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll let you know. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yay, music. Thanks, friends. Thanks everyone for tuning in from afar.
I'm so glad to
Sideways.
have met you.
Oh no,